an article.
Okay, first of all, I just read the video, and man, I don't know where to start here. You know what? It amazes me that neocons like yourself want to judge Keith Olbermann, and you want to talk about Keith Olbermann with hate speech and how he's too hard and he lies and he says all this stuff. First of all, let's be clear here. FactCheck.org and a lot of other companies have looked at and verified a lot of the information that is on Keith Olbermann's show, and it's been verified to be true. In this case of George W. Bush, for example, George W. Bush, for example, has been verified by his own stupidity. George Bush, hell, you don't need a dictionary, you don't need an encyclopedia, and you don't need live witnesses to see that George Bush is one of the worst presidents in the country, because he shows you that every day. I think it's amazing that neocon conservative Americans like yourself want to sit here in judgment of Keith Olbermann, but where are you? Where are you to pronounce unbiased judgment on Rush Limbaugh, on Sean Hannity, on all these other people that want to sit here and run their mouth and say stuff that's totally wrong? Ann Coulter, another example. Oh my gosh, Ann Coulter gets up there and she says the most derogatory things. Do you ever hear one neocon conservative like yourself, sir, say anything to her? No. Rush Limbaugh gets up there and says some of the most vile, inhumane things that anyone could ever say under the protections of free speech. And do you neocon, Bible-thumping Christians ever say anything? No. So Keith Olbermann gets up there and he says what he says under the guidelines of free speech, under the guidelines of journalism. You have a problem with it. I know what the problem is. For once, you've got someone in your face. For once, you've got someone who is willing to sit on national TV live and hold you accountable. You can't handle that. See, Republicans can't handle people that think for themselves. Republicans want people to be programmed, robotic individuals that say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. That's what you want. That's what you thrive for. That's what you live for. You can't handle reality. The reality of it is, where was your judgment against George W. Bush through his entire 8 years of his presidency? Where were you? Where were you through all these situations of all the laws that were violated by the vice president's office, by the president's office? Where were you? You wasn't doing this to them, were you? So the next time you want to release a video or a program on your radio, chances are you probably won't see this, because that's how you are. You neocons, you get up there and you pass this judgment, and you know it's going on the internet, you know it's going all across the country, but you'll never defend yourself. You sit there and you say, Keith Olbermann's invited to be on our show anytime, any place, 3 hours, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. When in fact, Keith Olbermann said, okay, fine, I'll go on your show. And then, what does your people always say every time that it's been confirmed that Keith Olbermann has contacted your show? He's not available right now, we're too booked up. Why? Why? Because you're a coward. Because you're a coward, because you know the same thing Bill O'Reilly knows, that he will show up. Keith Olbermann contacted Bill O'Reilly's show. Okay, fine, let's put the two shows together. Same, I'll give up my show. He come on my show, 8 o'clock, live TV, we can confront each other. Bill O'Reilly's supposed to be there 10 minutes before the show. Cancels. Cancels. Why is that? He's a coward too. And it really pisses me off as an independent who votes for the person and never the party, to see idiot people like this think you know it all, think you've got it figured out, when in reality you are so far from the facts and the truth. If it bit you in the ass, you wouldn't know what it was. So, all you people out there who listen to this and say, well, he's just a twisted-minded mofo. Well, look at who you're supporting.